Hey everybody, it's me, Angel Benton, and it is time for another edition of Angel Sudsy Recap, where we delve into the world of daytime television and we do a few reality shows on the side. And one of the daytime TV shows that we're doing is The Young and the Restless on CBS, here in America at least. So, for Young and the Restless this past week, it was actually a relatively good week. So, here's the thing. So, we found out that so it was pretty obvious that Cassie's, not her biological mom, because that's Sharon, but the woman who adopted Cassie when Cassie was a baby, Alice. Do you remember Alice way back in the day? Alice and her mom Millie. She was also on Days of Our Lives. She played Barb of Glenn and Barb fame, and I think she had to do with Zack and the baby that Hope got, or that Lexi got mixed. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, sorry. So, all right. So with Young and the Restless, we know that she's part of the sex ring now. And of course, we know, as always, we know that we knew that Zack was part of the sex ring. I mean, that much was obvious. Now, I still would like to know, because this hasn't been explained yet. Now, we know that they work together, right? And we've seen them interact together, Alice and Zack. But I want to know, how do they meet? What's the backstory there? What happened in those years in between in between the last time that Nick and Sharon saw Alice after Cassie died to now? Quite a bit, I'm assuming. And I'm wondering how she knows Zack, and I'm just curious as to what their relationship is besides work. Because I don't know. Is it like, does he have this weird sort of like psychosexual love? I mean, here's the thing. So if you ever watch Law and Order SVU, there we go. Oh, if you ever watch Law and Order SVU, there's always something freaky going on, right? And maybe that's trained me to be a little bit too over analytical, so I'm always trying to think, oh, what's really going on there. But usually on soap operas, I'm usually right? So I'm wondering, does he have this weird sort of psychosexual obsession with Alice? Maybe, I don't know. But on Friday's episode, he totally showed his true colors, because Abby and Scott, they go back and forth with their fighting and shit. But here's the thing. I like Scott with Sharon. I really do. Now, granted, I know that Sharon will probably end up with Nick, because Sharon and Nick are really meant to be together, and no matter if they're apart now, it doesn't really matter, because they're going to end up together. Kind of like Billy and Victoria, kind of like Victor and Nikki, right? They're one of those couples that are always, they're destined to always be together. So, that's unfortunate for Chelsea. But I'm at least I'm enjoying her time with Scott right now. I really enjoy Scott. So, and not just that, but I am enjoying the fact that with Sheila Carter turning up on Bold and the Beautiful, and she's got a connection to Scott too, back in the day. She kidnapped Scott back in the day. So I kind of would like to see, if or when she gets let go from the Bold and Beautiful, that they pull her over to Young and the Restless, and she takes care of some unfinished business with Scott. I mean, I'm very curious to see how that relationship is too, but I'm going to put a cork in that for now, and we'll revisit that topic later. All right. Anyways, so Scott's all for Sharon Sharon, God bless her. Okay, so Alice stops by the underground. She has some drinks. She catches up with Nick and Sharon. And Sharon notices that Alice is in the exact same car that picked up prostitutes from the police department, right? So when that happened, she told Nick, oh my God, I think that she might be the one. And Nick is like, well, you might as well stick around. She'll be back. She forgot her credit card. So Sharon steals the credit card, gives it to Scott. Scott finds out where she's living, or at least where the billing address is for the credit card, which is a little bit smart, I've got to say. And speaking of wait, let's pause this real quick. So how many of you heard about this Equifax thing that happened? So if you don't know, Equifax had a breach of their system between April and July, right? A whole long period of time, and they didn't announce it until Thursday. So everybody's data, like not everybody, but like half of the population's data, including their social security number and their credit cards and things like that, have been compromised. Now, I was concerned about that, but I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I don't have a credit card. So no one would need to run my credit. The last time anybody ran my credit was when I got hired at the company I work now. And they don't use Equifax. They use TransUnion. There's only 3 credit bureaus. There's Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. And we use TransUnion. So, you know, I once I found that out, I'm not that worried, right? The only thing that worries, well, I'm just gonna let that go. But anyways, that's crazy, right? Is that crazy? Half the population. I knew so many people in the IT department that have been compromised. I mean, that's crazy. You would think that, you know, they would, you know, but it wasn't their fault. So I guess, anyways, okay, moving on. Sorry, I just had to mention that because that was a little bit crazy. Okay. So Scott finds out the billing address, and then they go to the billing address and they see, you know, that, you know, they meet a neighbor and they talk to the neighbor, and the neighbor's like, oh yeah, she lives there and her niece lives there too. And Sharon's like, God damn it, I know it, because she does not have a niece. She doesn't have any siblings. She doesn't have any family that came out during the trial where she was trying to sue us for Cassie. I'm telling you, that is bullshit. So they know something's up, right? Well, Alice ends up coming to pick up the credit card at the underground. And Nick is there. And Nick is like, oh, Sharon's got it. Let me call Sharon. She'll be on her way right now to bring your credit card. She's like, great. So she's sitting there waiting, and then Sharon comes and brings the credit card. And unbeknownst to her, as she was walking in the club, Sharon took a fucking a screwdriver and popped a hole in the bitch's tire. Gotta give her props. I give Sharon props. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, that's a little bit too much. Sharon went too far. Really? No, I think burning down the ranch house is going too far. Popping a hole in someone's tire is just an inconvenience. I'm just saying. It's a lot easier to replace a tire than it is to replace a house. Right? Am I right? So, and plus, you know, Crystal's life is at stake, or so she thinks. So, you know, I think that I definitely think that she was onto the right thing. So she comes back, and Nick, while he is changing her tire, because he's like, you know what, forget it, the auto club, they'll be here forever, so just call them, cancel, and I'll change your tire to a spare. If you've got a spare, I can change it. She's like, oh, thank you, Nick. So he changes it, but then he puts a tracker on her car, the same tracker that they used to, and this was, and granted, this wasn't that long ago, this was about a year ago, but it's still a good use of history, because he used this tracker to find out where Chloe was when Chloe killed Adam, right? Or killed Adam. That was great. That was great. So he puts the tracker in the car, and then they know exactly where she is at all times. It's genius. It's fucking genius. So, anyways, I'm very curious to see how this sex ring plays out, because it's fascinating. It's got me on the edge of my seat, you know. I mean, granted, it's not like, you know, a whole bunch of stuff is pulled out of left field and you're like, wow. But enough stuff is like Alice, so I do enjoy, I am enjoying this story quite a bit. So please feel free to, thank you so much. Let's start over. So thank you so much for logging on today. I do appreciate it. Please feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Angel Benton. You can hashtag YR to talk Young and the Restless, or you can hashtag GH to talk General Hospital. I'll be doing that tomorrow. And you can also hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel to get my YouTube videos sent to your inbox every single day. All right, thanks for logging on. Have a wonderful day. Peace out. Wubba, wubba, wubba.